Shall we begin?
Why not? Welcome to Frankie Sense and More. It's like she's got a whole lot of goodness for you with a little bit of sass.
Frankie, did you just say...
She sure did. Not to mention, along with...
Whoops.
Join us now as Frankie Picasso and her new co-host mix it up with authors, musicians, and interviews with world-changing people.
Let's begin, pal.
Okay, let's begin now, because it only makes sense.
Hello there, and welcome to Frankie Sense and More. I am so happy to be here today with all of you, and I hope that you're happy to be here too. Well, you must be because you're joining us, so that's wonderful. I have two amazing guests today. We have Colett, and you're going to have to forgive me, everybody, with the African names because I'm not that good at it, but Colett Ngobeni, we have Wellington Manjengwa, and we are going to speak to both of them in just a moment. Colett is on the line. She is a mom. She is the mother of two, a wife. She's a caregiver for her two nieces. She's also a member of the infamous Black Mamba Anti Poaching Unit because of her passion for nature and her desire to protect wild animals. Colett, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to join the Black Mambas?
First, I was attending bush school where they teach us at school about environment. So I fell in love there. So first time when I heard that they want women to do the anti-poaching unit, then I joined them. I came to the interview, and then I passed the interview because I love nature. I want to protect the wild animals. I want to protect the animals for our future generation. So I love the beauty of nature.
Wow. So you were part of the Bush Baby program where they educate you on? Yes.
Yes, but even me, when I was at high school, I used to attend the bush school.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
I love that. So what kind of training? I mean, okay, so it's an all-female anti-poaching unit, which is extraordinary. You have you look after the Oliphant West region of the Balule Nature Reserve, which is adjacent to the Kruger Reserve, which everybody knows about. It's very famous. It has the big five there, lions and tigers and elephants and everything. And you were looking after the rhinoceros specifically, the white rhinoceros or the black, or does it matter?
Yes, we look after the white rhinos.
The white rhino.
The black, both white and black. And it's not only about the rhinos, even the elephant, even the impalas, because some people, they set snails to poach the meat, so then they can sell the meat. So it's not that we focused only on the rhinos. We focused for all the wild animals, not the rhinos only, because now even the elephant, they kill them for the tusk. So we focus for all the animals.
Right. And so tell us it looks like a military unit you're training. You're trained as a military unit? What kind of training do you get?
Sure, the training, it was hard and it was tough because first time when we do our training, we did it for 3 weeks first training. We were staying in the bush without bathing. We used to wake up early in the morning, run for 20K, and then sometimes we walk, and then sometimes we walk with our bag with a lot of rations at the bag. So it was very tough because we were staying in the bush.
Yeah. And they say that you do like paramilitary training, that you have handgun training, you have how to take down somebody, you learn how to find the traps and how to dispose of traps and things like that. So it sounds like it's very intense training.
Yes, it was interesting training, and in the other hand, it was very, very tough. But we managed to pass the training, all of us.
Yeah, good for you. And how many girls are in your unit?
It's 33.
33. And so every day you're responsible for 20 kilometers of fence line. Is that true?
Yes, 20 kilometers for.
And you
fencing.
walk that every day?
Yes, we walk.
Wow, that's incredible. Are you ever afraid of the animals being attacked by an animal?
No, at first I was, but now I'm used to it because we went for the training, so I know how to handle everything. I know how to handle the situation.
You're right. And tell us about bushmeat. Why is bushmeat so popular? Why are they killing these animals for meat? There's meat in stores. Like, what is this?
No, they don't sell it at stores. And then they do biltongs, and then they sell it to the community. To get money. Yes, they sell it to the community to get money.
Okay, and do the people in the community want to buy this meat, or do they oppose the killing of the animals on the reserve?
Okay.
The animals that are on the reserve, do the people in the community, are they happy to get this meat, this bush meat, or do they feel like, no, this is wrong, something's wrong because we're supposed to protect these animals?
Some of them, they don't care, but some of them, because we raise an awareness, now they hate the people who kill the animals, right. But some of them, they even buy it. So, but we are happy because now we don't find a lot of snails, because people, they know that we are patrolling, so they don't come in the reserve these days.
I read, Colett, that you really like to walk that fence line and let people know that you're there, and like to as a big deterrent, like you dare them practically to cross over because you're going to be there to get them. I love that.
Yes, I love walking along the fence, like not doing the roadblock, because when we walk along the fence, all the people, they can see us, that there are people. We don't have to go there. So it's like we are raising an awareness that, no, here we don't want you to get inside the reserve. So that makes me happy every day when I wake up early in the morning, go to the fence and check the holes, check the spores, check everything. So that makes me happy.
So when you have a shift, do you go every day, or do you stay at the reserve for a few days and then go back home? How does it work?
We stay at the reserve for 21 days and then we go home for 10 days.
Oh, wow. So who looks after your children when you're at work?
My mother-in-law, she looks after my children.
That's amazing. And the Black Mambas, they really rely on donations because, you all get salary, which is great, but there's such a big need for money to continue because your area is so huge that how big is the area that you guys are responsible for in total? How many kilometers?
I'm not sure because it's like we have 5 teams, like we have 5 compounds, not in the same places, yes, in different places. So it's big. It's too big. So
that's incredible. And I read that you received a Champion of Earth Award from the United Nations, which is just outstanding for fighting illegal wildlife trade. So congratulations on that award.
Thank you.
That's exciting. How many traps or snares would you find in a given day?
Tracks of human tracks?
No, the snares or how many snares?
At first it was about 50, 60, but these days it's like 2, 5, 1. That means we are working and people now, they know that people are there to work there, so then we are not allowed to go there, and then they will get caught. So now it's working. It's working.
That's wonderful. Are they getting sneakier though, the traps? Are the poachers getting, do you find that they're becoming more creative in their trapping because of you?
Come again?
Do you think that the poachers are becoming more creative in the way that they're setting snares so that you can't find them?
No.
No? Okay. So, Wellington, do you have any questions for Colett after hearing what she does?
Maybe not a question, but just to comment that the work they're doing is absolutely amazing. I come from Zimbabwe, from close to South Africa, so I'm well aware of the danger that poachers are posing on the animal population in that area. So this is a tremendous piece of work, and to see that it's actually ladies who have taken the responsibility to go out and make this happen. That is absolutely phenomenal.
It's absolutely incredible. And if you go to the Good Radio net website, so www.thegoodradionetwork.com website, you'll see a video of the black mambas in action, and it's just outstanding. So I'm just so thrilled, Colett, that you're able to do this work, and I'm so grateful that the animals are safe because of what you and your sisters are doing in the Black Mamba unit.
Thank you. Thank you for your support, because without you guys, we are nothing. Because you know that black mambas, they need more donation. Like, we live on donation, because when we patrol at night for night patrol, we do with a vehicle. So the fuel, everything, it's come with people who donate for us. So thank you for your support.
Oh, that's wonderful. I hope that you can. Colett, how much money do you think you need, like, daily? Like, if people want to, people are obviously, they're free to donate whatever they want, but an average donation, what would really help you?
I don't know, because sometimes the problem is I can't estimate that this money, it will suit us, because like today at the other reserve, they see the vulture activities. So if they see something like that, the members, they need to go out. And then another thing, they need to hire a helicopter to help us checking. So the helicopter is too expensive. Sometimes when animals is injured or something like that, we need the helicopters, and then they can help us. So that thing is too expensive.
Okay. I want you to stick around for another few minutes if you can. We're going to go to a commercial break very soon. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Wellington, and we're going to talk a little bit more. I want to talk a little bit more to Colett, because I have some amazing statistics to tell you about what the Black Mambas have been doing and why it's so important, as you just heard, for you to donate to them. And you can go to their website and donate right away at the www.
Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
Welcome to Geraldine Tegelov Live, the show that shares with you the secrets of redefining, reinventing, and rebuilding your life. Having pulled herself from the rubble of financial ruin and having gone on to create a highly successful career, Geraldine has become an expert in the art of transformation. She believes that it doesn't matter where you are right now, how overwhelmed you feel, or how impossible the task of turning your life around may seem. You can do it. Stay tuned as metaphysician, international best-selling author, and intuitive Geraldine Tegelov gives you the inner understanding and the outer practical how-to to create your amazing life. Gain a fresh perspective on how to redefine, reinvent, and rebuild your life. Join Geraldine Tegelov live every Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the TogiNet Radio Network. This is the TogiNet Radio Network, broadcasting quality programming to the world.
It's words you never heard.
Did you know 1/3 of the population suffers from bad breath? Several years ago, a New York City doorman was actually suspended from work because people were complaining about his bad breath. Other words for foul-smelling breath are halitosis and ozostomia. So, what are common causes of ozostomia? Coffee is a problem because it's very acidic, and bacteria reproduce faster in an acid environment. Candy and gum contain sugar, which is also a problem because sugar feeds the bacteria that cause bad breath. Alcohol is another culprit. What's another name for cheap wine? Plonk, slip slop, or stinky bus.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Words.
And we're back, and I just wanted to finish letting you know where you can go, because I did cut myself off just as we were heading out into commercial break. You go to their website, www.blackmambas.org. And if you don't know what a black mamba is, it is actually a snake. Is that correct? It is a vicious snake. They're going to get you. Like these girls are going to get you. So yeah, in case you were wondering. And now your unit has reduced the bushmeat poaching by 78% since 2013, and rhino poaching since about 65% since 2014. And that's pretty incredible. And that is something for all of us to be happy and proud about, for sure. So well done.
Thank you.
Do you always go out with the same unit? Do you always go out with the same partner?
Can you please come again?
Do you go out with the same partner every day, or does it change?
No, we change each other. We change each other, like we rotate. Yes, because sometimes in the morning we have 4 groups. So the other group, they need to check the fence. Another group, they need to go for sweeping for the snares. Another one for roadblock, and then for another one, they need to be standby for the night shift. So sometimes we even do the compound check.
So what would happen at the night shift? Like, how dangerous is the night shift? You can do that in a car, right?
Yes, we do that on the car, and then we spotlight. So, and then we do some OP. We find a place where we think the poachers, they can take advantage of that. So we stay there, we spotlight, so then they can see that people are here, and then we drove all along for the servitude roads.
Have you ever arrested anybody?
In our reserve, no, but the other reserves where the other black mambas, they did.
Wow. Does it ever worry you that you might have to arrest somebody?
Can you please come again?
Do you ever get afraid that you might have to arrest somebody, take some guy down? Or you're looking forward to it?
We're not afraid, because even us, we want to get them. We want to get them. Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. You feel free to stay with us, or you can, go if you need to go to work, whatever. But if you can stick around, we'd love to have you stay and talk to Wellington with us. I'm going to introduce you to Wellington now. Wellington Manjengwa is a financial services professional. He has been in the banking world since about 25, and he's from Zimbabwe, as he mentioned earlier, and today he makes his home in the Seychelles as head of internal audit for Nouveau Bank in Seychelles, as I said, and he is also an associate lecturer for risk management at the University of Seychelles. I'm so happy and proud for him because he just published his first book, Take a Chance and Win, Guide to Risk Management for Personal Decision Making, which is now on Kindle, and it went out last week. It got to bestseller status, top 10, and let's welcome Wellington and hear from him just how wonderful and amazing that was. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Frankie. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you. And I'm so glad that when I first met you, I said, you're going to come on my show one day as soon as your book is published. And voila,
and we're
here you are. So there you go. I love it. You wrote on your blog, Well of Inspiration, you said that you came from the dusty streets of Harare, Zimbabwe, the land of millionaires and billionaires who can't afford a loaf of bread because of 1,000,000% inflation. That's crazy.
It is true. It is true. If you read the story of Zimbabwe, where I come from, 2008, 2009, we had such a difficult time with hyperinflation, and the economy was going all over the place, and we were millionaires for real. In fact, for me, by the time I left Zimbabwe in 2009, my salary was probably somewhere around $1 trillion Zimbabwe.
Oh my goodness, $1 trillion that were worth nothing, basically,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
That's crazy. You said that you were one of those people who was not born with a silver spoon in their mouth. But I'm just so amazed at your trajectory, because you managed to, be born in a little town, dusty streets of Zimbabwe. You ended up becoming a certified accountant, in England. You have your master's in finance, and that's like absolutely incredible. How did you leave? How did you get out of there? How did you afford that?
It's the story is long, Frankie. We won't finish it all today, but it was basically a case of me kind of having people around me, seeing the life that other people were living around me that I was not comfortable with. If I give you an example, one of the guys was very close to me, a few houses away from where I lived. That guy, same age as me, he passed away a few years ago, but he turned to a life of crime.
Oh.
He was doing robberies and things like that. So the environment where I was, it was such that people were... My focus would have been just that same direction, get into a life of crime or get into basic work, do a few basic things, make a little bit of money and not become anything important in your own life. Right. And that to me was a bit of an issue, because as I was growing up, I had a man that I called a brother. He was my mother's friend's son. So he was not really a brother, but because I'm an only son, he was like my big brother. He is the one person I saw making progress that looked much different from the people that I was seeing around me. And I emulated this guy. I got very close to him. I would go to his office just to see where he worked. And that began to inspire me to want to do like him. Even now, I look up to him. He's done very well in his life. He's a businessman. He's a banker as well, just like me. But he helped me to shape my life and to realize that there's a better world out there. And I think this is the power of how we inspire the people around us. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter that you don't come out in newspapers and public places. But if you've got a little person around you who comes to you for a word or two, you've got the responsibility to inspire that person to make a difference in their life.
I love that. And so not only, did you get all of what I told about a moment ago, but you also in 2015 became a John Maxwell leadership coach. And that's extraordinary, because on your wellofinspiration.co website, you are such a leader of inspiration. You have books that people can read. You have quotes that people can look at. They can manifest all of their dreams by just coming to your site and sitting down for a little while and reading and going, wow, you know what? I mean, first of all, you're an example because you led by example, but it's also, we look at everything that you have put around you, and you've done that on purpose.
Yes. It's a culmination of things that have happened in my life. And I say to myself, one day I want to be able, there was a time in my life, if let me put it this way, there was a time in my life when I was very close to making important decisions. But I had no guide. I had no manual to go back to and say, how do I go around this? How do I do this? Even the people around me that I try to ask about stuff, some will just snub you and think, this young man doesn't know what he's talking about. And some will just look at you. Some will give you very basic information and then just walk away. So I never had quite a strong hand to hold my hand and show me the way around. And I believe that every young person, even adults, need somebody that can help them to walk the journey through life. And there are so many challenges, so many complications, but through a basic understanding of how we can apply in what I call risk management strategies or strategy in general, one can make very, very successful decisions in their journey through life, it be it for what they decide to do as a career, what they go into as a business, or, who they choose to be their life partner. In some instances, how they manage their finances. And this is what my book talks about. I've taken those 3 decisions and I'm trying to help people with strategies to make them work effectively.
I love that. And, when you, just as a banker, when people come to the bank and the bank says, you have a little bit of money, why don't you invest your money? And they say, what kind of a risk taker are you? They put you into categories. Are you a high risk person, a medium risk person, a low risk? Because that's where we're going to put your money. Maybe if you're high risk, you got a chance of making more money than other people, but you also have a greater chance of losing your money. So, I guess diagnose oneself to say, who am I? What kind of a risk taker am I? What kind of parameters as a banker do you put around that? Aside from your book, what would people look at themselves and go, I'm a high risk person or I'm not? Like, would you say that Colett was a high risk person by becoming a black mamba?
She's a high risk person, but first of all, there's one thing I just wanted to highlight. You are saying it very well that you are considering what kind of a risk taker are you. Mm-hmm. Society has told us that some people are risk takers and some are not. But the reality is that everybody takes some level of risk. And it's not about how much risk you take, it's about how you manage the risk that you take. Okay. Now, in the context of banking, if you come to the bank and you are looking for money or you want to bring in money to the bank, basically the easiest way to look at it is when you want to borrow money from the bank. Mm-hmm. The bank looks at how much do you have. If you're starting a business, are you yourself committing something to the business? And what is your capacity to repay the bank if it finances you? And what do you have that can offer the bank the security that in case your business doesn't work out, the bank can still recover their money?
Because everybody comes to you, right? They all go, I've got a great business idea. I promise you, I'm going to pay you back the money.
Absolutely. Every idea is wonderful, but we have to work with them very closely to help them understand that not every good business idea can work.
Right.
Specific things have to be in place. The financials have to make sense. What you put in must bring back a return, both for you and that enables you to pay back the bank.
Well, we are going to go to a commercial break. And when we come back from that commercial break, we are going to learn more about risk-taking, taking risks that aren't really risks, and learning more about what is in Wellington's book, the risk management and decision-making, and how to go ahead and do that so that we are taking a chance and winning at this game we call life. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We're just getting warmed up. Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
Big girls don't cry, right? According to a recent Wall Street Journal article by Dennis Nishi, there's a stigma attached to turning on the waterworks at the office. 61% of men who reported crying at work cited personal reasons, an illness in the family, the death of a pet as the catalyst, while 58% of women said it was something that happened at work, being unfairly blamed or criticized. Men are like mascara. They run at the first sign of hubbub. That's another word for crying. What's the word for the fear of intense emotion? Zelophobia. Women may have a better excuse for crying than men, as females have higher levels of prolactin, which encourages the production of tears, making it easier to be known as a lachrymist, or someone who cries at the drop of a hat.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Words.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
You can have the best trainer in the world design an exercise program for you. But if you don't do it, it's not worth anything. You can join the most expensive fitness club in town, but if you don't go and exercise, it is worthless. To be a success in any exercise program, you must be consistent. It's the steady, constant exerciser who makes fitness and activity a lifestyle that excels and succeeds. Sometimes our busy schedules seem to prohibit us from exercising every day, so many people only work out 1 to 2 days a week and push themselves so hard that their intensity is too high. Even though this type of workout makes them feel good mentally, it is not the best way to exercise. It is better to moderately exercise in some form every day. Consistency is the key to exercise success. For the Fitness Minute, I'm Annette Hammond.
Welcome back. We still have Colett with us, and Wellington is talking to us. And of course, I'm your host, Frankie Picasso, and you're listening to Frankie Sense and More. We were off air as usual. The good conversations go on there. And we were talking about how somebody who doesn't make a whole lot of money could still invest their money or invest in themselves. And Wellington has some advice for all of us who are listening who think, you know what? I can't be in that game of, where everybody else is of the game players and making money. So let's talk about that for a moment, Wellington, if we can. Can you give us an education?
Let me start by saying that many people are constantly running short of money. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how much money they earn, how much of a salary or a wage they draw. Often they are running out of money. What usually happens with money is that when you start earning more, you start spending more. You upgrade your lifestyle to match the salary that is coming in.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, we usually just end up where we were even when we had little money. Mm-hmm. So the idea is not around how much money am I earning now or to complain that I don't have enough money to save. What we must focus on, it does not matter how much money you earn. What really increases your worth, what really increases the wealth that you have as a person.
Yes? Are we still here?
Remains in your pocket when you're done spending. That is the key that will begin to build the blocks towards building your wealth.
It's good advice. My dad always told me when I got married, even before I got married, he goes, always put away from your paycheck. Always put away whatever you can, like $10, $20, $100, whatever it is, put it away. And I've listened to that. I don't always save it, but I listen to it. No, I think it's really good. And I have a piece of advice for all women. Every woman should have her own bank account separate from her husband's, just so you know.
Okay. I won't comment about that.
Let's go back. Okay. And that was advice from my father too. Every woman.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to have your own stuff. But okay, so let's say all you can put away is $10, or I don't know how much rand that is. But if you can put a little bit away, what happens to your money then?
The money grows. First of all, because you're putting away a bit at a time and adding to I'll call it a pot. That pot is getting filled every time you put some more money in it. Mm-hmm. At any given time, every individual is either in a deficit, breaking even, or in a surplus. And the moment you start putting money aside, your surplus begins to grow. Now, what you then need to do is to take that surplus that you're growing and finding a way to invest that surplus in an investment instrument that in itself begins to grow the money. In other words, your surplus begins to grow its own babies, so to speak. It begins to earn more money.
I like that. So would that be, what would you suggest somebody put into, like, I don't know what products you have over there, but do you have anything over there that's earning 4 or 8% interest?
Well, it depends. If you go for a simple savings account, for example, every savings account in this part of the world earns a certain amount of interest. I'm sitting in the Seychelles, and our savings accounts are earning something between 2 to 3%.
That's good.
Okay. But if you put it in an account called a fixed deposit account, a fixed deposit account is an account where you lock your money in for a set period of time.
Mm-hmm. Like a GIC?
That earns a little bit more than a savings account.
Okay. And what's the most? Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Then there are other instruments that are there available with sometimes through the banks and sometimes through the financial markets. I'll give you an example of what we call here treasury bills. These are a money market instrument. Treasury bills, where I am right now, they are earning about 8%.
Well, that's good.
Meaning to say, if you buy one treasury bill for $1, it will earn you 8% over a period of 1 year. You will get 8 cents more to your dollar than what you had before.
Very good.
So the money itself can earn more money, and you don't need to work for it. You simply need to park it in a place and it will grow. I have an example in my book of a person who would save something like $500 every month.
Mm-hmm.
For
somebody say
$500
a month? Wow, it's a lot of money.
$400 a month for 30 years at an average return of 7%. This is a hypothetical figure that I took.
Sure.
At the end of 30 years, they've got more than 500,000 in their account.
That's incredible.
If you're saving for your child, I'm sure any child would live for a little while with 500,000 given to them by their mother who saved money over a long period of time.
Yeah. They can definitely go to school. That's amazing. So what would I know it seems, for a lot of people if you're not making a lot of money, but what would like a minimum amount of money be able to do for you? Like if you could just save how much, you could actually have, a nice nest egg in 20 years or something.
For me, I normally I just want to use a rate based on whatever you're earning.
Sure.
So I recommend starting with at least 10% of your income and putting that aside as a saving.
Okay. So do you think, Colett, could you put away 10%, do you think?
Yes, I think I can do that.
And should she put that into an instrument then, or should she put that just in the bank?
For starters, it'll have to be in a savings account in a bank, not just a current account, but a savings account. Banks have two types of individual accounts most of the time, a current account and a savings account. A current account does not earn any interest.
Okay.
Current accounts normally are just for transacting, bringing in money, taking it out. But a savings account is an account which is designed to help you build your cash resources. So if you put your 10% of your income into that savings account, it will automatically begin to earn interest, only that it will be an amount which is determined by the bank from time to time.
And do you have to pay taxes on that money where you live?
Where I live, and I think it's the same case for Colett in South Africa, they have to pay a withholding tax on that. So the bank will withhold a small amount from whatever they pay you as interest.
Okay. All right. But when she gets to a certain amount, then she could invest that into something that's going to grow her more money.
Absolutely.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And one thing I must mention, Frankie, if I may, banks likes to sell loans.
Yeah.
So you find that many people are encouraged to borrow.
Yeah.
They borrow money. Most of the times they are borrowing to spend on things that they don't really need to spend on. One of the strategies I recommend in my book is to use credit sensibly.
Right.
The sensible way to use credit is to borrow to invest, not to borrow to spend.
Smart. Smart thinking. Are credit cards a big thing? Like Colett, do you have a credit card? Do your friends have credit cards?
No, I don't have a credit card.
It's not a way of life there. So mostly you're living within your means.
Yeah, many people just live within their means, but you find that they will borrow for things like cars, or they can go to the bank and get a personal loan for to go on a holiday. Where I am here, I always see people borrowing money to go on a holiday overseas. They borrow money to send their children to school sometimes. They borrow money to just spend on appliances for the house, things like that.
Okay. And could you put that into a mortgage, or is it a separate loan?
It's a separate loan.
Okay. So let's go back to your book then. And now Colett has a strategy. She has a strategy now, and she can share that with everybody. You start putting 10% away in your bank, and away you go. You're going to start making some money. And never ever use your credit to spend money. Use your credit to make money. I like that a lot. Yes. Very smart. See, he's a very smart guy. So that's why you're here. Now, in your book, we talk about, risk management is the biggest ingredient for success. So you give practical strategies like the one you just gave, which I think is fantastic. And you broke your book down into, like you mentioned before, business risk taking, personal risk taking, relationship risks, which I thought was interesting, especially in a financial. We thought this was a financial book, and here we are, taking risks on relationships. So talk to us about that. Where did that come from, and what's your advice?
You see, the person you decide to settle with for the rest of your life is one of the biggest decisions you ever make. Because when you settle with somebody, you're not only just getting a life partner, you are getting a parenting partner, you are getting a financial planning partner, you are getting an eating partner, and potentially a business partner. So the decision to settle with somebody as a life partner, whether as a wife or just a partner, is something that needs to be taken very seriously.
That is
my
so
observation
true.
had been that society pushes people, especially this part of the world where I come from. I've seen that society kind of looks at you funny when you reach at a certain age and you're not married, you are not looking like you've got something going on in your life. Mm-hmm. The old aunties and your mother's friends start asking you questions. Mm-hmm. So what happens is society does not help at all, because we are made to believe that by a certain age we need to be in a certain place with a person.
That's true.
As a result, we often rush into making decisions to settle down so that society we can graduate from singledom to the world of marriage.
Well, I wonder why everybody's so happy. Everybody's so happy for you when you go, okay, we're going to get married now. Everybody's thrilled for you instead of thinking, I'm just going to wait until I find that right person.
But real life.
I'm going to stop you because we are going to go to a commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to find out more about picking the right life partner. And I want to know if the two of you pick the right life partners. We'll be right back. It's Frankie Said Some More. We're talking to Wellington Manjengwa and Colett. I want to say your last name, Colett, properly, and I know I'm not, so I'm just going to leave it.
Frankie Said Some More. We'll be right back after we pay the bills.
LinkedIn. It's a great tool and a great way to do business in today's social media driven world. And Carol McManus is the LinkedIn Lady with the LinkedIn Lady Show. Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons at 4 p.m. Eastern on allbusinessradionetwork.com. The LinkedIn Lady Show is designed to inform, inspire, and educate businesses. Every social media site has a specific demographic, personality, and purpose. And the LinkedIn Lady will interview a variety of guests, such as business owners who can showcase their business and talk about how they use social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, Pinterest, and of course, LinkedIn. For more on Carol and the show, check out her website, LinkedInLady.com. As trends change and new applications become available, the LinkedIn Lady Show will bring that information to you in an easy-to-use, fun, and engaging way. Every Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons at 4 p.m. Eastern, it's the LinkedIn Lady Show with Carol McManus on allbusinessradionetwork.com.
This is the TogiNet Radio Network, radio with a cutting edge.
It's words you never heard.
Got a lead foot? According to state troopers, here's what not to do when you get pulled over. Don't be a lachrymous and start crying right away. It doesn't help. But if you're under 20, crying won't be held against you. Don't ask for a break, and don't yell or start any argy-bargy. And one trooper said, if they're going to flirt with me to get out of a ticket, it would probably insult my intelligence. But unfortunately, I don't get hit on all that often. So flirting or being a gill flirt won't work. Did you know that 15% of all drivers get 76% of all traffic tickets? And the odds of winning if you challenge a traffic ticket in court are 1 in 3. So what should you do when you get pulled over for speeding? Be courteous to the officer, and most of all, be honest.
It's Merging Neighborhood.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Words.
Okay, I am going to redeem myself. Colett's last name is Ngobeni, and there we go. I've put it out there. And I thank her for that. And we were just talking off air about, how old people are when they get married around the world even. And Colett and I both got married when we were 28, which I thought was kind of old for both of us. But you know what? It's a good age to get married. Why not? People are starting to get married a little bit later, I think, in life. They're waiting to start their families. They're waiting to finish school and do some of the things that they want to do before, they enter a relationship and they're not able to do those things anymore. So let's go back to Wellington and his advice on relationships. So as you're saying, the most important decision we're going to make is that partner, that life partner.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I find it quite disturbing sometimes when I look through the tabloids in my country and around the world, or you're seeing these headlines about celebrities on the verge of divorce, or divorce one day after marriage, or infidelity is rocking somebody's marriage. These are quite heartrending stories for me, because I can see that there's a lot of pain that is going on in people's lives as a result of discovering that there's a wide gap, an unbearable wide gap between what they wanted and what they thought they got. When reality kicks in and they begin to see that this person is actually not quite what they thought they were, because before people get married, they are all nice to each other most of the times.
Yes.
But once the realities of life kick in, true characters come out, and people sometimes then find they can't deal with whatever they're seeing at that particular time.
Well, I think that's true, and I think that people, you're unaware of, in some cases, that's going to happen because you're not really sure. I would, if we were married, I don't know what your parenting style is going to be. I don't know what your spending habits are going to be, or your saving, because usually you don't look at somebody's bank account before you marry them. So these are some private issues or issues that you may not know, but there's ways to figure it out. I think before you get married, there's ways to figure that out, and you can even just ask if you want to.
In fact, that is what I advocate for, Frankie. I say there has to be a conversation when you take a relationship seriously and you want to take it to the next level, the level of life commitment. You need to have some serious conversations, respectfully discuss with each other the key things of life. One strategy that I recommend is that as an individual, when you marry somebody or when you commit for a long term with somebody, do not do it with the expectation that the person is going to change in the future.
Right. Good advice.
So if what they are doing today, you are not comfortable with it, it is very risky for you to take that person on, commit for the rest of your life, hoping that at some stage they are going to change, or that maybe you can help them. We often have this hope that we can help them to change their lives. In fact, what I advocate for is that the way to look at it, the way to think about it is, am I willing to live with this person the way he is for the rest of my life?
Right. And that is real and true, advice right there. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this advice. If you don't listen to anything else for the whole show, listen to that, because that's the $1 million nugget right there for sure.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to change. They're not.
They will not change. And I also say, Frankie, love can see. It is not blind.
Love can see, but when you're first in love, that those endorphins and that feeling that you have around that person, you're very magnanimous with,
Yes.
allowing things to, to take place.
Mm-hmm.
And once that bloom is off the rose, things, the harsh reality is present then. And we're not looking through rose-colored glasses anymore. And the things that we thought were cute, or, oh, I loved that about him, or, it was sort of his little quirky thing, now is annoying as heck. Right?
That is true. That is true. And look, Frankie, I would be naive if I say to you that, the power of love, if I diminish the power of love. Love is such an exciting feeling, and it can be quite addictive as well.
For sure.
When you're in love, you're often inclined to push aside any bad stuff that you might see in the next person. You get carried away, and you are writing this fairy tale story of how your future can be with this person. But when you see little things that concern you, you write them off.
Right.
But this is what I'm saying, that even though you love this person, be aware of certain attributes that the person is exhibiting.
Mm-hmm.
If you are aware of those attributes, you have to make a conscious decision within yourself whether you want to carry on with this person the way they are, or you want to discuss with them at that particular time to see whether there's any possibility they can see things from where you're coming from, and possibly change their ways to make the relationship more successful. Basically, I say, take some time to think. Don't just be intoxicated by love, but allow love, even though it is said to be blind, allow it to see certain things that might be important for you as a person, and essentially important for your relationship.
Right. And not just on a personal, the pain of personally of going through divorce, but, the financial pain, depending upon where you live in the world, of them taking half of what you have. And, that's reality. And people work hard for their money. And some people who are savers, they don't benefit from having somebody who is not as a partner. Exactly. It's difficult.
I mean, there are questions we never ask. I've seen people, some big names of people just divorcing, and when they divorce, they say, you know what, I knew I was making a mistake when I married this person, but I went ahead and did it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's very, very sad. But it happens. We see it every day. So sometimes if you just stop at the moment where you feel uncomfortable, why don't you stop and think for a minute?
It's a difficult conversation to let somebody go. It is, and it's heartbreaking and sad. But I think it's worse after, you're together for a couple of years and then you do it. People feel used and abused. Wellington Manjengwa, his book is called Take a Chance and Win, Guide to Risk Management for Personal Decision Making. It's on Kindle, and it's going to come out in hard copy, I think, too. But get it on Kindle right now. So when you had your launch last week, Wellington, how exciting was that for you?
It was an absolutely amazing experience, Frankie, because I had support from all over the world, places I had not expected to receive support from, because I reached out even to some friends and acquaintances that I had known way back, and we had not been in touch for so long, but everybody came back with encouragement and excitement, and a lot of people went on to Kindle and they bought the book, and it was so amazing.
It is a fantastic book. It really is a great book, and it's an easy book to read and easy to understand. It's not, it's interesting. It's filled with examples, and I think that's what, makes for a good self-help book, is that there's real life examples. It's well written, and anybody and everybody can benefit from this book, whether it's, how to make a decision, basically, is what we're looking at. How to make a good decision, a decision that might be a little risky, but come out as a winner. And I think that's what's really important. So fantastic book. Everybody can read this, so why not buy it? What's it going for now on Amazon? Do you know?
I'm still keeping it at 99 cents. I want
99
to make it.
I want to, oh my goodness!
Advice available to as many people as possible.
So you're not even risking anything. Go out there and get this book right now for 99 cents. My goodness. Good advice. He's given us great advice. He's told us how to make money, how to save money, how to make sure that we get into a good relationship. Already you've got like some wonderful gems from Wellington, and I think that I just think he's absolutely amazing, and that's why he's here. But good on you. I don't know how much time we have left. Ben, how much time do we have left in the show? Okay, perfect. We got about 3 minutes left. I want you to tell me about the John Maxwell leadership training. What made you decide to go with him?
John Maxwell is. It was many years ago, actually. I was cleaning up my closet back home on a Sunday, and I was just working on a few things, getting rid of stuff. But I don't know if you do this, but I do this a lot. I write notes and chuck them in my drawer, forget about them. And on this particular day, I was going through my drawer, throwing away a few things, and then I came across an old diary. I had used it many years back, and it was a nice little diary, leather bound, and it had quotes. Every page had a quotation by John Maxwell. Every quote had every page a quotation by John Maxwell. I didn't know who John Maxwell was, but when I went through each of the pages, I began to resonate so much with everything he was saying. So I researched on John Maxwell and found out a bit more about him, and then I put it aside for a while. And then I was looking for some material on leadership when I was beginning to develop my Well of Inspiration website. And then I said, I remember John Maxwell. I reached out to the John Maxwell team, and they said, look, we have now launched a certification. If you want to come, you can be certified and become legally allowed to speak about John Maxwell's leadership material, and you can share it with anybody that you want. You've got lifetime support, and so on and so on. And then I loved it. I went for it, and it was a phenomenal experience. It's one of the best events I've ever attended in my life. Totally life-changing.
Wow, that's just phenomenal. We've only got a couple minutes left, so I just want to make sure that everybody, please go to the Black Mambas, go to their website, www.blackmambas.org. Please donate. They need our money. The animals need our money. The wildlife needs our money. Let's stop the poaching. Let's stop the bushmeat. Let's keep the animals healthy and whole. That's just phenomenal. Thank you so much, Colett, for coming on the show today. We really, really appreciated you being here. Wellington, go to Amazon.com. You can grab his book, Take a Chance and Win, Guide to Risk Management for Personal Decision Making. It's Wellington Manjengwa. You can go to his website, Well of Inspiration, which I just love. It's so cute, wellofinspiration.co, and look at all of the wonderful inspiring positive quotes that he has there and other written material that he writes. He writes all the time, and they're really, really great articles. So thank you for that. And listen, thank you everybody for coming today. I so appreciate you listeners. Oh, just love it. We'll be back next week for another Frankie Sense and More. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye, y'all.
Great. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
See on the beat. Hit Rash Production.
She not you, she the one.